so many peacock bass here. It's incredible.
A box of huge, thick flies, 8 to 10 weight fly rods, one of the most aggressive sport fish found on Earth, a perfect recipe for a fishing trip of a lifetime. This week, Tim Rajeff travels to the Amazon jungle in Brazil in pursuit of the spectacular peacock bass on LL Bean Guide to the Outdoors. Hi, I'm Chad Fleischer, and welcome to LL Bean Guide to the Outdoors. A journey to the jungles of South America is not for the faint at heart. Images of monkeys and snakes, caimans and crocs, river and rainforest come to mind. While man has made a home in the Amazon for centuries, it wasn't that long ago when an adventurous group of angling explorers touched down in the heart of the jungle and began fishing the rivers and lagoons, just to see what they could find.
In 1992, I decided I needed to change of pace, and I had been raised in the Amazon and always wanted to come back, never had time. Started doing some research, found out that all the peacock bass fishermen went to Venezuela, and I decided if someone put a quality operation in Brazil with ice, American-made bass boats in the area that had the best peacock bass fishing, they'd have something. So in '92, we started with the Amazon Queen, and while we were traveling, we discovered where we felt was the best area for peacock bass fishing was up here on the Rio Negro. And we decided to locate the Rio Negro Lodge in 1998, smack in the heart of the Rio Negro fishery.
The results were nothing short of amazing. And today, the Amazon is known as the best place on Earth to fish for the spectacular peacock bass.
You know, I've traveled to a lot of remote places in the world, and you know, coming to the Amazon was absolutely mind-boggling. Literally getting here was an adventure in itself. It's a long journey, but it's kind of broken up into a lot of segments, so it's not that big of a deal. I think if you add up from the time I left Portland, Oregon until I got to the camp, it was about 30 hours of travel.
The wilds of the Amazon demand advanced planning. It takes the right gear to battle aggressive fish. Tim explains the equipment he'll use to go after the peacock bass.
I geared up with a couple of Orion series rods from LL Bean. One of them was a 9-weight and one of them was a 10-weight. Both of those rods have like medium fast action, which meant it was easy to load the rod up short, because sometimes you had to make a little shorter cast, but they had plenty of backbone for those longer casts. Ooh, there's a fish up against that bank right there. There's 3 factors I use when deciding what size rod to use. One of them is if you can make a cast and have a fish eat, I guess you're throwing the right rod. It's a good fish. What I was about to say was, if you are gonna need some lifting power, and really the butt of the rod is what fights that fish, then you might want to use a heavier rod. The other 2 factors are, if you're casting a big bushy fly, you need a heavier line. The 3rd factor is how far you need to cast. And the way it works is, the farther you need to cast, the heavier line you should use. So in this situation, we're casting really far into these trees, which allows us to stay out of the way and we won't spook these bigger fish. So I've chosen this bigger 10-weight rod because I want some butt power to turn these big guys. Look at that fish. And I'm throwing a big fly really far. That's why we've chose to use a 10-weight today. Okay, let's see how we get this guy in. Wow, look at the colors. Unbelievable. If I had to describe a peacock bass to somebody, I'd say get a big box of Crayolas and open it up, dump it out on the table, and get a couple like 8-year-olds and ask them to draw a fish. They'd use every color you could think of, the bright greens and the yellows and spots everywhere and red and orange. And when you reach for that first peacock bass and hold it up, it's actually a mind-boggling color. So that's what I did with my 10 weight rod today. That is just the most colorful, beautiful fish. These things are just mind-boggling. Oh gosh, I never get tired of looking at these things. Beautiful. Thank you. Wow. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable.